Hey, this is Steve Domenico in the Room podcast with Zach Rocky Richard, 6-2-1, fighting for Premier FC30 February 29th for their amateur featherweight title. What's up, Zach, man? Another title fight, man. How you feeling? And man, you're just gathering them up, bro.
I'm feeling good. How are you, sir?
I'm doing excellent, man. Another huge opportunity, another chance to get another belt. This will be your third belt if you come away with your hand raised. How you feeling about heading to Premier for the first time?
I'm excited. I haven't fought for Premier yet, so it's going to be cool to see what their venue's like and how the commission runs everything. It's always interesting when you go to different promotions. But I'm excited. I'm feeling great. This camp's been nothing but great to me. I've had a couple small injuries, but besides that, everything's been nice since the last fight.
Excellent. Well, you had a busy career in 2019, 5 fights. You had a fight in January where you captured another featherweight title for another promotion. Now you're heading to Premier, man. Is this the path of Zach Richard? Hit every belt in the promotions in New England and come out with every one.
Yeah. Well, I kind of just take what it's given to me. I got offered the fight, and I already had 2 fights already lined up at the time, and I took it, and I've been waiting for this one. I've been looking forward to it. It's the best striker I've ever fought, I think, besides Tom, but Tom's striking has got a lot better since we fought. Yeah, I'm really excited for it, and it's going to be good. It's going to be a good night for sure. Jake Bagley's going. Ross is coming from Maine. Ross is fighting my old wrestling teammate. I'm excited. It's going to be a good night.
And they're all fighting for belts also, man. So, I mean, you're going in there with a whole crew from Maine, probably a convoy of fans and family and followers, man. How do you feel about that? Because your last fight was pretty far out of town, and you had a crew there for you, man. What do you expect to come, to be bringing to Springfield?
Well, it was looking kind of slow for a while, but last week a lot of people have been hitting me up for tickets, and they see how hard I've been working and how hard me and the team have been working. And, yeah, I'm pretty excited for it. A lot of my friends that support me every fight are going, and then I got new friends that are going that haven't been any fights. So it's pretty cool, especially making the trip on Saturday, But it's sleepy, and we're going to party like rock stars after.
Excellent, man. Well, like we said, you've been very, very busy. This is going to be what, your ninth fight? Your 10th fight? 10th fight,
yeah.
10th fight in less than 2 years, going for your third title. Is there anyone else that's been as active as you in the amateur ranks?
I don't think so. I don't try to be active. I just, I feel like everyone I fought's also quite different too. So when I was fighting Tom, we thought that we wanted to strike with him, and he took me down a lot. But so that we learned a lot of takedown defense after that fight, and then it took a 2-week notice fight, but we learned a lot from that too. I got caught in trying.
Yeah.
So every fight, it's just amateur. I don't really care that much. I mean, yeah, obviously a great record is what I want, and all these belts is nice, but it's more just learning. When I go pro, obviously I'm not going to be as active, but yeah, I'm actually, after my fight in April, I plan on taking a nice little break for the summer and start thinking about turning pro after that if everything goes smooth sailing with these next 2 fights, which obviously I plan for it to go smoothly.
Well, excellent, man. Well, like we said, this is going to be your 10th fight, and you had 5 fights in 2019. Was it 5 or 6 fights in 2019?
6.
6 fights in 2019. I'm sorry, man. 6 fights in How is the body? How do you keep this pace up? I know you have the wrestling background, but how do you keep this up? You've been fighting title fights basically the last, 5 or so fights.
Yeah. Well, not to toot my own horn, but back in wrestling, I would bump up or bump down a weight class to wrestle the better person. I like competition. I like everyone watching that one fighter wrestling match. They can't look away. Yeah, I freaking love it. I love fighting all the time. It hasn't took too much of a toll on the body. I mean, the Fred Lear fight was probably the worst. I could barely walk for a couple of days, but besides that, I mean, I get hurt in practice more and just working, honestly.
Well, your last fight was in the beginning of January where you captured that other featherweight title. How's training been going since then? As far as have you been adding anything to it? Because this is your 10th fight as an amateur. You're always adding new techniques or learning something new as you grow in this, this sport. Anything you've been adding or any new training partners? Any movement been in this training camp?
Yeah, well, this training camp, so Sunday through Wednesday, I'm at Nostos. Thursday through Saturday, I'm at either Evolution or on Saturdays, I might go to CMB2J. So I've definitely made my variety a lot bigger, and I've worked with a lot more people than just the constant 2 or 3 people I was working with. Definitely coached more a lot, too, in the past month. And it's honestly helped me think a lot, too, because I'll watch videos of myself, and I'm like, well, I'm telling these kids to go straight in and out with their punches, and here I am not doing it. So, everything's just learning. I'm loving the sport more and more. I'm meeting more cool people. People are starting, like last week we went to a fight, and how do you have any fans there? And I got, the crowd was going crazy when I walked in the cage. It's starting to really realize that, this is beginning to be my life, and I'm loving every second of it.
Excellent. And you're making the most of it. I mean, with the sponsors, the fans, everyone, paying attention to you and doing it in the cage, man. Congratulations on all the success in such a short time, man. You're killing it out there.
Yeah. I'm honestly glad that I lost those 2 fights. I got off my grind a little bit and got in my head, and it's definitely put me in the right position.
Excellent.
To be where I want to be. And my Mike Murray fight, I played a little bit safer because I wanted to get that title because I lost 2 title fights in a row. And then now my fight with Randy was a little bit more stand and bang. So we're just going to start having fun with it more and actually starting to learn the cage is what I want to be doing. Instead of just going out there to win, I want to actually, drive the fights into deep waters and get freaking crazy with it. Because if I ever go pro and I start bleeding from the face, I don't want to start bitching out in the fight, So we're just trying to hit everything.
Excellent. Well, from fight to fight, watching you, I mean, things are progressing. What I see and the fans see, I mean, it's a pleasure to watch you progress as a martial artist. What is your coach? You got Devin Powell there. Other coaches from CMB, JJ, with Jesse Erickson, and then you got, like you said, you have that other camp you go to, Evolution. Man, you got a ton of talent and coaches bringing you along here. How does that make you feel as far as a young amateur, having all these these veterans and fighters that have kind of been to the big stage and fought on the regional scene, guiding you along?
Yeah, it's definitely, I train with who I think is going to help me for sure. Nostos doesn't have a lot of active people right now. So my move to Evolution really helped a lot because I'm training with Mo Kiani, Duncan, just a lot of fighters. Tyler Smith, who are active in CMBJ. I got my cousin, John Assam. Just a lot of people who also are going and training for fights. So we amp it up a little bit for training. And I drive the same route every day from work to Nostos to stuff. So it's I'm starting to feel like I'm getting somewhere when I'm switching it up every week. I'm starting to see everyone who's making it somewhere. They're not just going to one gym working with the same coach. I mean, we all love to do that, but I know Nostos will always be probably my home gym, but I definitely like getting the work everywhere else.
Excellent. Well, you fought so many times. Have you trained with any of these former opponents you've had? Have you, made friendships and, got some cross-training in with any of them?
Me and Tom have been at Lausanne's a couple of times with each other, and he actually drove up to Nostos right after our fight, so he helped me train for Miguel. So Mike Murray is always traveling, but we hit it off after we fought. We're pretty good friends now. I like this sport. I haven't fought anyone that I don't like. I'm cool with everyone.
Well, here we go, brother. Now you're going into Premier FC, where you don't even know this dude, man. He's 2-0. Dude from New York. He's fought for Premier a couple of times. 2018, he had one fight for them, and 2019, he had a fight for them. I think his last fight was in October. What do you know about him? Is there any film on this guy? Do you really study film, or it doesn't matter? You're going in there, and it doesn't matter who's in front of you.
I usually, if I have my Nick Miles, my striking coach, and Keegan, my striking coach, and Devin, my head coach. I tell them to look at it. I don't really look at it too much. I don't think a game plan is really what anyone should be going in there with, because if your game plan's to go in there and jab the guy's head off and you get taken down right off the back, then what the fuck are you gonna do? You know? So I don't think too much of a game plan. We've creeped each other's Instagrams. We've commented on each other's posts. I'm really cool with the guy I'm fighting. He's had a couple Thai fights and he's got some good kicks. So it's gonna be a good one. It's not. I've never fought anyone like him, and I don't know who he's fought, so I don't know if he's fought anyone like me. But I think it's gonna be a very interesting fight.
Do you like going in there not knowing who kind of you're facing? Is it an excitement for you to go in there and go, I really don't know what I'm facing here? Does that kind of excite you that you don't know the possibilities that are going to go on in there?
Yeah, well, I mean, it's kind of like if you got in fight on the street, it's not like you can watch film on the guy, where the whole martial arts is supposed to be defending yourself. So I don't know. If you're as good as if I'm in there fighting for a title, it shouldn't matter if he's great at this or that. We're both good fighters, and I don't know. I think if I watch someone too much, also, like if they got like a good question mark kick or something, and then the whole time he's kicking my leg, I'm gonna be panicking that he's gonna kick me in the head, So I don't want to get too involved. I'll learn on the fly too, because everyone that I have looked at film on, and then I thought the fight hasn't really gone the way I expected. we avoid it, but we're pretty good friends. We comment each other's posts. Not recently, now that the fight's getting closer, but when it first got announced, we were shooting shit and comment each other's posts. So yeah.
Well,
it's weird.
That's great to see. I mean, from two young amateurs, and so you walk in there, it's basically a gentleman's fight until the door, the cage door closes, and then it's a full out battle to take each other out. As far as heading to Premier, you talked about that. You've heard great things about them. They got a ton of social media, a ton of fights all over. I mean, they're the longest running regional promotion in New England, I do believe. What do you think of them? I mean, Miguel Cuevas, who you fought, for that title, he is basically a disciple from them. He started his amateur career at Premier, and a lot of big time fighters that are in the UFC now or prospects just getting there have fought for Premier FC. How excited are you to fight for a new promotion and one that has plenty of eyes on it and has some success with fighters getting to the big stage?
Yeah, I like fighting in different promotions because, more people will get to know your name, I think, that way. Like, if you're just fighting Maine all the time, when you go to Mass, and no one's going to know who you are. So I like hopping around. I'm excited to be in front of a new crowd and bring my team down there and fans to blow the place up. I always message, Travis Lazat and kind of Bill Jones, people that have been around and know their shit about either a fighter or a promotion, and they all had great things to say about Premier. So I'm excited to go there, and everyone I've dealt with them has been really nice to me. So it's been really smooth sailing.
Yeah, it's a great show. The hospitality and what Karen and her staff do for the fighters, they make you feel at home, and it's a special night. I mean, you have some promotions that it's kind of lackadaisical as far as the walkouts and just the atmosphere itself. But when you go to a Premier fight, it's like, you've been to these big promotions as far as, Neff and Reality. I mean, they put on a great show. Premier does the same, and they're fighting at, their card is at MassMutual Center, which is a big, big place, man. So you're no stranger to that. As far as going into a new atmosphere and a place you haven't been to, is there any nerves or is it more excitement to go in there and show fans that haven't seen you before what you can do?
Definitely way more excitement than nerves. Less nerves on the fans part of it, But my last fight in Mohegan Sun, that was a pretty big venue, and it was a lot different than when I fight in Portland. And it didn't bother me one bit. If anything, it more motivated me. I like Big Dan pat me down when I walked out and stuff, I like the little boy in me comes out, get all excited, for sure. I don't know what the venue, I looked at the venue's pictures, but I couldn't find any fights there. But it looks like a cool place, so I've kind of been daydreaming about it, me winning my third title there and what it looks like. But I do also kind of miss the whole, when I fight with NEF so often. I know how everything goes, so that's a little stressful because, you don't want to be too late, too early, missing this. So it all comes together the last few days anyways. I try not to worry too much about it.
Well, the cool thing I heard about this card is Matt Hughes Mark Coleman are going to be there. Nick Newell's going to be calling your fight, I hear. Man, how you feel about that? I mean, you've met some, high guy, some veterans out there, UFC fighters in your travels, just in the local scene here and there coming to these promotions. But how do you feel about going there and having Matt Hughes watching you in that cage?
It's pretty cool. I went through a USCPI last year, so I met like Forrest Griffin and a couple like Francis Nagata and a whole bunch of other people, TJ Dillashaw. But I mean, to be able to fight in front of someone like that, it's pretty cool. I can't wait. I just hope I want him to hopefully be like, "Ah, main kid's fucking crazy," That's what I want to go for. Definitely turn some heads because you never know what it could turn out.
Well, he's definitely going to be watching you because we know Matt, his style, he's that grinder, that wrestling style, take you down, ground and pound you. So, that's right in your ballpark. You can really impress Matt there, man. He could be you come out.
Someone else run across the cage, slam him, and point to a match there or something.
Yeah, awesome, man. I can't wait, brother. So we got 2 weeks to go until fight night, man. You talk about hard training. What's left now? We got 2 weeks left till that night. What goes on now as far as your training and what's left to do?
A lot more like breaking things down, a lot of scenarios with like my coach Nick's coming over tomorrow. We're gonna work a couple hours and just everything we want to touch, and we'll do that a couple more times before the fight. Practices, I start kind of just training on the side so I don't get hurt or I get stuck with someone that I don't need to be stuck with. Weight cut, I'm a little bit heavier than I've ever been because I've been lifting a lot. So the weight cut's going to start a little bit earlier. The diet's been fine. The last 2 weeks are definitely fun, but they go by so damn fast. It's crazy.
Now
you just got to make sure everything. You've done this, you've done that. You don't want to be the day of fight or the night before you're going, oh shit, I still got 4 pounds to lose, and I still haven't gone over like how to set up this or
Yeah. As far as you mentioned weight training, did you add that? Have you been steadily weight training, or is that something you added into this camp? You said
my dad's always tried to push me to lift weights. The downstairs that we have looks like fucking Planet Fitness, but never been my thing. And everyone else is just doing it. And I look at everyone that is going somewhere, and I'm kind of just copying what they're doing. I'm like, all right, they're all starting to lift weights and do strength classes and running, and so I just trying to follow like what works, the recipes.
Excellent, man. Well, like I said, I mean, you pick up things as you go. I know a lot of dudes that you train with have picked up the weight training and some of that strength and conditioning work, and it's all part of the process. I mean, you pick up new things as you go. As far as you talked about you have another title fight after this in April. What is your projection as far as 2020? You said you want to take some time off and then maybe talk about maybe turning pro. Do you think that's something that's going to happen before the end of 2020, or it's too early to tell right now?
No. If everything goes fine in these next 2 fights, I'm definitely gonna be September, November, be looking to go for my first pro fight. I'm super, super excited about it. I keep throwing elbows and shit in practice now and fucking knees to the head. I'm excited, it's something else I can work on.
Excellent, my man. And it's going to be at 145. That is your home. That's where you want to be. Not that you can't go to 155 because you do hold a title in that, but 145 is basically where you want to be, correct?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, it all depends if I keep lifting and if I do get pretty big or, if I end up going pro and I don't have a job anymore. Depends how much I weigh. Could drop to 35. 45 is not that hard for me, but it's going to be getting harder if I keep freaking lifting.
Excellent, man. Well, you'll figure out. You'll get a happy medium there. You'll settle in somewhere. You'll get that groove going, and it's, clean sailing from there. As far as who's going to be in your corner, who's going to be taking the trip with you and, cornering you that night?
So Nick, Devin, and Keegan. Keegan and Keegan could be sick as a dog at practice, and I'd be like, can I get 1 minute round in? So, and he knows me like the backside of his hand, so him, obviously Devin, because Devin's the brains and everything, and he calms me down nice, and he's my coach, obviously, and then Nick Miles, who's just my little homeboy I got. He's 22 years old like me, and we train together, and he's helped me a lot. I've helped him a lot, and I think he'll always be in my corner, honestly.
Excellent, man. Well, dude, you know, I've been watching you for, I can't say a while because you've only been on the circuit for like less than 2 years. But you mentioned Travis Lazat. That's how I met you, you know, going with Travis. And then from there, I just been following you and you've been, you know, doing it on the circuit. And, I'm proud to see a young dude like yours, doing what you're doing, man, and capturing these belts and fighting legitimate competition out there and not taking easy fights and taking short notice fights and just getting the work in there, man. So congratulations on all your success in such a short time, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, last thing, my man, I know, you're one of those sponsor guys that, got a whole town backing you, brother. Man, shout out anything you want, any friends, any family, any coaches, anything you want to throw out there, man, because you got a title fight to get at 2 weeks, man. So let it go.
Yeah, I just want to thank my mom and my dad for everything they do for me, between selling tickets, helping me with my sponsors, everything. My coaches, like I've already shouted out, Nate Boucher, always for helping me, Jamie Colvin, all my Evolution, CMBJ, and Nostos guys. I couldn't do it without you guys. And Noah Hernandez for my wrestling, but I got my sponsor list right here.
Awesome.
Yeah. My boy Sneaker Graphic makes all my stuff. Top It Off Oil, Bolsters Firewood, Let It Shine Cleaning, Uncle Pete's Relief, Southern Maine Sewer and Drain, DNR Paving, Steve Doobie Construction, B&M Auto, Iron Tails, Knuckle Up Custom, Dedrick's Auto, Iron Tails, Skull Steak, Pet Tea, Things Paving, Native Deli, and Stone Coast Appraisals.
Jesus. Yeah, dude, you know that by heart now, right?
I was reading it.
Oh. Yeah, but you read it
I
so
always forget.
you read
I
it
have
so
to write it down.
you read it so fluently, brother. It was good stuff.
I usually mumble, so thank you very much.
All right, turn that camera back around so we can see you, so we can let you go, my man. So, last thing, social media, Rock, because I know you got Instagram, I know you got a Twitter that not many of you young guys use, but it's there, man. Shout it all out.
Yeah, just my Facebook is Zach Richard, Snapchat and Instagram is RockyR666, and I'm fighting February 29th.
There you go, man. Zach Rocky Richard, man, 6-2-1, going for his third amateur title for a third promotion, or is this second?
Yep.
Third promotion, dude. You're breaking records out there, man. You're breaking records out there. So with that said, brother, man, I can't wait to see you. I'll be cage side. I'll be hopefully sitting near Matt Hughes. I'll hug him before you do. That's for sure. So,
tell him before I get out there.
I'm gonna pump him up for you. I'm gonna watch this guy.
Okay.
So, Zach, I'll be hanging with you after the fights as always, man. And I can't wait to see you in action there, and putting on a show at Premier.
Thank you, my man. Thank you for having me on again.
All right, my man.
Everyone out there.
All right, my man. We'll definitely see you, man, and have a great weekend. We'll talk very, very soon.
All right. See you, buddy. Have a good one.
All right.